Hey everyone, it's Ryder from Skip. We've got a big news update today. First, there's a new report from the SBA on their overall impact from 2022, including details on the $43 billion that the SBA gave out this year. Plus, speaking of 2022 impacts, I'll share early results from our year-end survey that hundreds of businesses and entrepreneurs have already filled out. And finally, there's big economic news. Of course, the Fed raised interest rates yesterday. More raises are expected going to 2023, which is leading to some mixed economic signals. So I'll tell you what to look for there and what you should care about. Most importantly, thanks so much for tuning in and subscribing if you're new. And let's try to get this video to 1,000 likes. So first, on the SBA news, they announced end of the year capital benchmarks showing historic support for small businesses. The agency provided nearly $43 billion through their lending programs this year. By far, the 7A loan was the most popular, with over 47,000 loans totaling $25 billion. That's through the SBA 7A program. This checks out with us. We've helped tons of businesses successfully get 7A funding this year. Yes, up until March and April, it was all about EIDL. Since then, it's been all about the other SBA programs. And in fact, we expect this trend to continue into next year. Here's the data. About 32,000 of these loans were for less than $350,000, and $8.3 billion went directly towards minority businesses, $7.3 billion to women-owned businesses. $9.2 billion was distributed through the 504 program. Over 9,000 loans were given out, and microloans coming into third place with $82.6 million, which is a great first source of funding for a lot of you watching. That $82.6 million went to over 5,000 small businesses, 76% of those going to underserved communities. So a lot of this underscores how the SBA has been getting funding to communities and business owners who historically haven't had easy access to capital in the past. So if you're looking to get some of this $43 billion in financing for your business in 2023, go to helloskip.com/join. You can use us as an extension of your team and basically outsource the work. We'll help you find and apply for various funding options, not only these through the SBA, but also SSBCI and other government programs. You can also call us 650-695-6133 if you want to learn more. Otherwise, the links are in the description. Speaking of links in the description, 2022recap.com. We want this to be the largest end-of-year small business and entrepreneur survey in the country. We just put this up yesterday, nearly 600 responses so far. There's a couple really interesting insights. First, how did 2022 meet your business expectations? 72% of you said it did not meet your expectations. That's huge. That's way more than we thought. And finally, when we asked the question, I wish I had more help with my business, 63% of you strongly agreed with that statement, and 22% somewhat agreed. So nearly 9 out of 10 of you saying that you could use more help with your business. A lot of other great insights. But if you haven't yet, go take the survey, 2022recap.com, and tell others. Post this in your stories today. I'm sure people you know will want to participate. It takes a few seconds to fill out. That's it. And finally, to wrap today, big inflation news. Of course, the Fed raised interest rates by 0.5 percentage points yesterday. Not only that, they expect more increases going into 2023. As a result, the stock market has mixed news today. It's so far down on the day. Fed policymakers are entering a new phase of policy tightening in which they're trying to determine just how high to go, how high to raise the rates. The inflation news that came out earlier in the week showed some improvements on inflation. In fact, here's the consumer price index that shows some of those improvements. Food costs are still high, energy prices improved, cars and trucks improved, shelter costs increase. Overall, the CPI did improve. That's the silver lining. However, I personally think the Fed will continue to raise rates every time they meet throughout 2023. There's no doubt in my mind, when you look at where inflation is at now, it's still incredibly high. Of course, their decisions are a lagging indicator, so they're going to have to keep ratcheting it up and try not to overcorrect, which would stall the economy. But it's a really difficult challenge for the Fed officials and for Jerome Powell. Here's the current rate. We're getting close to where it was in 2008. And finally, since it's the holiday shopping season, this just came out. November retail sales weren't so jolly. Sales at U.S. retail stores, online sellers, and restaurants fell by a seasonally adjusted 0.6% in November from the previous month. That was a slowdown from October's robust 1.3% sales increase. According to Ted Rossman, who's a senior industry analyst at Bankrate, quote, "This is perhaps the strongest evidence yet that consumers are pulling back and it comes at a critical time of year for retailers. Are you seeing this? Is your business being affected? How's inflation affecting you? Would love to hear in the comments. Would also love to hear if you've gotten any funding from the SBA, from these $43 billion from 7A 504 and microloans this year. And finally, did you take our survey, 2022recap.com? If you took the survey, give a little wave emoji in the comments. Most importantly, stay well, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.